A vehicle stolen and tracked down. The suspect found blocks away and then killed by San Antonio police on the city's south side. It's a breaking story we've been following throughout the night, and now a witness is sharing their account. 4 officers are also on administrative leave tonight. It happened on the corner of West Theo and South Florida Street, but officers are working 3 different crime scenes. The Night Team's Patty Santos live now with why Police Chief McManus says his officers had to use deadly force. Patty?
Yeah, according to Police Chief McManus, the suspect that they were chasing had a gun in one hand. And when those 4 officers saw him try to move that gun from one hand to another, that's when all 4 of them opened fire. And here's how they say it all started. According to police, they got a call about a car burglary victim that was able to lead officers to an apartment on Kindalia Avenue near South Flores. This is all by tracking an iPad that was inside that stolen vehicle. The police helicopter spotted the suspect taking parts off of that vehicle. Police say for some unknown reason, the suspect jumped into a blue car and drove off. Officers were watching him when he crashed the blue car into an SUV on the corner of South Flores and Malone Avenue. The suspect got out and ran off, and that's when officers ran after him. Witnesses say it all happened so quickly, and then the shots were heard.
They got him and they were telling him to stop, but he wouldn't stop, like he wanted to escape, but they started shooting him like at least we heard 4 gunshots, 4 or 5, yeah.
And you can see on the map there that the 3 crime scenes are all in close proximity. No one else was hurt. Police say that man is about 34 years old. And tonight, the 4 officers that were involved are on administrative leave, as is routine, following an officer-involved shooting. We were going to stay right here and bring you more information as it becomes available on KSAT.com. We'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Patty. Tonight, a search for a baby's body. Investigators believe the mother may have tampered with the child's corpse. Victoria Ochoa was arrested tonight by the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, and according to BCSO, Ochoa went to a hospital earlier this month claiming that she had miscarried the baby into a toilet. She described the baby as being very small and said she panicked and flushed the child's remains. But hospital staff members examined the umbilical cord and placenta, and they determined the baby was fully developed, somewhere between 36 and 38 weeks. That's when they went to law enforcement.
We were able to verify over the course of the next couple of days that the placenta and the umbilical cord just was not consistent with what she was describing. That baby would have been way too big to be flushed in that condition. Even a small baby of that gestational period would have been way too big to flush the way she described.
The sheriff says there are other persons of interest related to this case.
One man is in the hospital with a gunshot wound to the neck. It happened around 7:30 tonight on the northwest side. Police were called out to the corner of Babcock Road and Springtime Street. There, officers say a 24-year-old man met up with 2 men in a dark SUV for a drug deal. Investigators say 1 bullet was fired from the SUV, hitting the man in the neck. Both men in the SUV drove off and remain on the run. The victim remains in the hospital.
A warning tonight against giving puppies as presents this Christmas. Animal Care Services reminding people that caring for an animal is a big responsibility that needs to be carefully considered. If you do decide to get one, they also warn about the dangers of purchasing from unlicensed breeders. Here again, the Night Team's Patty Santos telling us it was a costly mistake that one family made.
He was just set up on the side of the road with puppies, and we had been talking about getting a puppy. And so we just pulled over and decided to get one.
Jack was an impulse early Christmas present purchased for Shannon St. Cyr last year. But just days after she took him home, he became sick.
He was just completely laying there, not doing anything.
She was told the puppy she purchased from the side of the road had parvo, a highly contagious viral illness that can be fatal. St. Cyr paid more than $1,000 to get him back to health, plus the $100 she paid when she bought him.
It's not a money-making industry unless you're cutting a lot of corners. Frequently you get underage puppies, puppies that are unvaccinated, puppies that have been exposed to parvovirus.
Animal Care Services is warning people to steer away from buying dogs from unlicensed dog breeders that advertise on the side of the road or on social media pages.
And if you think, well, yeah, but I'm getting this dog so much cheaper, you're getting what you paid for. You're getting a cut down version. The care hasn't been as good.
The person St. Cyr bought the dog from faced a Class C misdemeanor and was forced to pay the maximum fines for failing to provide adequate care for pets. But ACS says he's continued his illegal practices elsewhere, and he's just one of many out there.
We've dealt with, probably 25, 30 different individuals. Many of them, though, have multiple misdemeanors against them.
Sincere hopes to spare others the hard lesson she learned.
Definitely don't buy them from the side of the road because they don't care. They don't care about any medical condition that the dogs have.
Jack was lucky and he survived, but it cost the owner more than heartache.
It was for my granddaughter, so I was trying to save them because I just couldn't imagine her being so upset about it.
Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
ACS says that breeders need a seller's permit to be able to sell dogs, but they say the best option is to adopt from a shelter. If you're patient, you can get the breed that you're looking for from places like ACS or Pets Alive, other nonprofits, and you have the assurance that those pets have been examined.
We have new information in this morning's deadly shooting on the east side. The man killed at an apartment complex on East Commerce, now identified as 32-year-old Manuel Santibanez. The shooting happened around 3 this morning near Lincoln Park. Police believe Santibanez was in the middle of an argument with another man before he was shot. 23-year-old Philip Esquivel was arrested just a few blocks away from the shooting. He is now facing a murder charge.
And we're in a typical wintertime weather pattern around here where we have a big range in temperature from the morning low to the afternoon high. That's going to continue all the way through the Christmas holiday. Right now, we're already 38 in Kerrville, 39 Fredericksburg, but 56 Del Rio and 46 right now in San Antonio. By 7 a.m. tomorrow morning on your Christmas Eve, I think we'll see widespread mid and upper 30s, even some slightly below freezing temperatures in parts of the hill country, at least for a few hours. We'll be back to talk about your full Christmas Eve, Christmas Day forecast and increasing rain chances beyond coming up.
Adam, thank you. Firefighters say that a threat is sparking an investigation into a house fire on the west side. Investigators say that a disagreement between neighbors led to one threatening to set the other's house on fire. Well, shortly after a home on West Lower Street was on fire. Firefighters say the flames spread faster than expected and had to evacuate crews. During the process, one firefighter was hurt.
We did have one of the firefighters who was bailing out of a window. Part of the window frame it penetrated the backside of his protective gear, and he's got about a 2-inch laceration on the backside of his body.
No one was at the home at the time of the fire, and no one else was injured. Still, no arrests in the case. Damage estimated at $20,000.
Meantime, police say a history of disputes between neighbors has now ended in one man's death. It's the first murder in Balcones Heights since 2005. 25-year-old Kyren Rashad Gooseby Chase is accused of shooting his neighbor with an AR semi-automatic rifle. The argument turned shooting happened in the courtyard of this apartment complex on Fredericksburg Road. A woman described as the suspect's girlfriend is accused of tossing the murder weapon to Gooseby Chase. She is also under arrest. 2 suspects charged with murder years after the killing of Samantha Miranda. New Braunfels police say both 23-year-old Joseph Austin Jr. and 41-year-old DeHuey Nguyen are charged in this case. Miranda was found dead on the sidewalk near I-35 in New Braunfels back in 2015. Police say Austin was the shooter while Nguyen was the getaway driver. At the time the arrest warrants were served, both suspects were already in jail in Jefferson Parish in Louisiana on unrelated charges.
3 people are dead tonight after a shootout at a Texas home. Authorities say that this may be the case of a homeowner confronting burglars targeting his home near Houston. Harris County's sheriff says 2 people living in a Channelview home were alerted by a commotion when one apparently grabbed a shotgun. Investigators say that man walked out of his bedroom and confronted 3 people breaking in. The 3 alleged burglars were killed and the homeowner is seriously injured. We're told that a 4th burglar may have run from the scene.
A woman now charged with the murder of her best friend and the kidnapping of a newborn. Heidi Broussard and her newborn daughter vanished more than a week ago from Austin. Megan Fiera Musca is now facing charges. A mutual friend of theirs says that as far as she knew, Megan and Heidi had both just given birth. Police say they're now investigating whether Fiera Musca was actually pregnant and the possibility that she planned to steal Broussard's baby. A baby was found safe. Police are still awaiting the results of a DNA test to confirm the identity of that child. Still ahead on the Nightbeat, a chance to change a child's life. The mentorship program that's brightening the future for foster kids here at home and how you can help.
This SA Salute holiday greeting is brought to you by Broadway Bank.
Hi, I'm Major Scott Mueller. I work for Operation Inherent Resolve in sunny Kuwait. I'm here to wish a happy shout out and Merry Christmas to my sons and daughter in San Antonio, Texas, Chase, Kiara, and Augustus. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays.
Jumping from house to house, it's common for foster kids. They form relationships that they often have to leave behind every time they move. That's why mentorship programs are so crucial.
Mentors spend time with foster kids, teach them skills, make them feel loved, and they can stay connected to them if they move homes. The Night Team's Courtney Friedman explains right now there is a desperate need for mentors, especially for teenagers. She spoke to one teen who we're not identifying for safety reasons.
I draw. I love to draw.
So many talents within a 16-year-old girl who has been through so much. Foster care has been her life.
Since I was 6.
She's lived in so many foster homes she can't keep track.
We have 2 people to a room.
8 months ago, she transferred to SJRC Texas, formerly known as St. Jude's Ranch for Children. It's a campus with multiple homes, a school, a church, and a mentor program.
Kids in foster care, kids in the child welfare system have to have that loving adult that's there for them no matter what. The key is someone that does not get paid to be there, somebody that's just in their life because they value the child.
SJRC Texas CEO Tara Rousset wants every child on the campus to have a mentor, but some are on a waiting list.
The mentorship starts right here on campus. A lot of mentors will come play basketball with the kids, bring them lunch, and then as the relationship progresses, they can do off-campus visits and also maybe even some weekends together.
There's been times where I could have the worst day and she calls me and she's just like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And I'm like, I'm great. And it's nice to have that person that'll check up on you. Mentors, they teach you things during life that you normally don't learn throughout CPS, like you don't know how to cook or you don't know how to clean properly. Cleaned it in 30 minutes. I'm proud of you.
In just 2 years, she'll age out of the system.
Because I know when I leave and I age out of here, I can call these people and be like, hey, I'm struggling with this, and they'll be there for you.
Starting as early as possible and forming that relationship is key.
Most kids don't want to go to college. I want to go to college, get my life together.
And with the love and support she's found through her mentor, she knows it's possible. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
The young girl in our story has 2 mentors, one through SJRC and another with the Through Project. That's an organization that helps teens transition out of foster care. If you're interested in mentoring, visit sjrctexas.org, where you can fill out a volunteer application. You can reach out to the organization directly, tell them your interests, and they can match you up with a child. Look outside with live cam this evening. Ooh, 46 degrees out there.
It's a lot chillier than it was earlier.
I haven't had a chance to step outside in a while.
Right?
It's colder.
It's that time of year where we get these big temperature swings over just a few hours, and so we're seeing that right now, considering we were in the lower 70s earlier today. Yeah. Now we're down in the 40s, and we'll wake up to temperatures in the 30s. And of course, Christmas, it's basically here.
It is.
You have one more day, folks, to get a little bit done, but it's basically here. So I want to start off with a little bit of Christmas climatology for us here in San Antonio, the hottest, the coldest, and just some other stats. So let's take a look at this. Of course, this goes for Christmas Day, the warmest ever, 90 degrees back in 1955. My good pal Arch, who grew up around here, now lives elsewhere, always comments and remembers that. He got a new bike that year and was riding around town. And we'll never forget that Christmas. The coldest was 11 back in 1983. So clearly a big temperature spread from the coldest to warmest. Now this is interesting. We're 50 degrees or warmer 89% of the time. So by and large, we're at least well into the 50s and even warmer than that. Now we've never measured snowfall or had snowfall here in San Antonio on Christmas Day. But if you think back to 2004, parts of South Texas, Brownsville, Corpus Christi included, had some accumulating snow on Christmas Day. That was quite a sight to see. So this morning it was cold out there, 35 to start the day. Then we made it up to 71 in the afternoon. So lower 70s, pretty comfortable. We're going to continue that trend the next couple of afternoons. Right now we're at 46 though, dew point of 38. Now here's the key with this dew point and why I like to point it out this time of year. With the clear sky, calm wind, and well, dry air, dew point of 38. Temperatures fall off very quickly and efficiently. So right now we have widespread 40s locally and even some 30s already, parts of the hill country, even Austin at 39 degrees. But no big change across the state. We don't have a cold front barreling southward. No big feature like that would really change things up. Actually, we just have a big bump in the upper level flow. And this upper level ridge through the whole midsection of the country is actually melting some snow up north right now and causing some above average temperatures. From here, slightly above in the afternoon to well above average in parts of the northern U.S. The activity and the real active weather, southeastern United States and even on the west coast. And we're going to look off to the west basically for our next weather feature that's going to give us a shot at rain. Until then, the next couple of days, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, we're looking at the big blue H. Pretty much in charge of our weather. So that means more sunshine. Now another system comes into the west coast on Wednesday. So during Christmas Day, we'll be in the sunshine, looking and feeling good. But brewing on the west coast is this upper disturbance. That's going to move in for the end of this week and into the weekend. And that's going to boost our rain chances a little bit. Now there's still a lot of uncertainty on exactly where this upper level low will go and where it's going to traverse the state. And that's going to have a big impact on our rain chances. But right now, I do think we'll at least tap in to a little bit of moisture and energy from that system. No chance of rain the next couple of days. Thursday, about a 20% chance. And then we crank it up to 40%. So some scattered light activity on Saturday. And that'll be our best shot. All right, tomorrow morning, 34 in Hondo, 30 in Kerrville, 32 Fredericksburg. You get locally here, and we're mostly in the upper 30s. Timberwood Park, Leon Springs, probably closer to 36. But you get downtown, you get to Stone Oak in the upper 30s. Then by the afternoon, low 70s, looking and feeling good. A lot of sunshine on your Christmas Eve. Christmas Day, a little bit of morning fog. But then I think mostly sunny. If you get that new bike or scooter, just go outside, have a good time. It's going to be comfortable, not too warm, not too cool. Just right for that. And temperatures aren't going to change much the rest of the week. I mean, they'll drop a little bit, but the main thing we're looking at is the better chance of rain by Friday and especially Saturday. And this time next week, looks like a little bit of a cooling trend.
All right, so we got some rain in the forecast. Thanks, Adam.
All right, Greg, putting that Clippers loss behind us, the Spurs managed to win big tonight.
Got a very nice Christmas gift, a big blowout win on a rare road win. Only 4 wins on the season away from the AT&T Center, and one of those was tonight in a mega scoring affair. LaMarcus Aldridge led the way. We got all the highlights for you, plus the fallout from the Cowboys' calamity coming up. Getting embarrassed for the Clippers at home on Saturday night. The Spurs hit the road tonight looking for a rare win away from the AT&T Center. Here's Patty firing up Bryn Forbes. You know what? It worked. Forbes went off in the first quarter. He hit 3 3-pointers, helped get the Spurs out to a double-digit lead quickly against the Memphis Grizzlies. But Bryn would get some help from LaMarcus Aldridge, who also joined the Trieste with 2 3-pointers of his own in the first quarter to jump out to a 46-31 lead at the end of one. Second quarter, more LaMarcus, but inside the 3-point arc. This time as LMA scored 28 first-half points. That's a game on most nights, and the Spurs lead at the break 72-61, tying the highest scoring first half of the season. The Grizzlies star rookie Ja Morant, the second overall pick, helps cut the Spurs lead down to 8 in the quarter, but the Spurs' DeMar DeRozan takes off long two, and LaMarcus, by the way, with his third 3-pointer of the game, and the Spurs lead is back up to 19, 108-89 heading to the fourth quarter. And it got even better from there. DeMar finished with 26 points, but it was Aldridge's night. He led all scorers with 40 points. The Spurs shot 67% from the field, 63% from three-point range. The Spurs with 15 3-pointers in the 145-115 for the most points scored this season.
Just playing confident, it was a win that we needed. I felt good tonight. My first few shots felt really good, so then I just stayed with it. I love, playing on the block and, trying to get guys shots. That's just, who I've been my whole career. So I thought, guys got easy looks, and, they knocked him down tonight.
He and DeMar led the way tonight, and it was great to see the whole team jump in. We've had a bad game last game, and this is the way you should react to something like that, so I was really proud of them, happy for them.
All right, the Spurs are headed back to San Antonio before they play Dallas on Thursday in Dallas at 7 p.m.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Dallas Cowboys have been unable to secure the NFC East division title, will now need help from the Giants if they want to make the playoffs. This after they returned to the distressing Dallas Cowboys by not scoring a single touchdown against the Eagles in Philadelphia with everything that was on the line. Dak Prescott certainly can take part of the blame, missing wide open receivers with a questionable throwing shoulder thanks to an injury he suffered in the win over the Rams, but you can also blame the receivers who dropped 6 passes, including Jason Witten and Michael Gallup, but more so the coaching, especially when you consider that both Amari Cooper and Randall Cobb were not in the game in the critical last play on 4th down in the 17-9 defeat.
You mean the one to MG on the sidelines? Yeah, we had an opportunity outside to him. We had different routes going inside, so the ball can go any of 5 places on that play based on the coverage they get. And obviously in those 2-minute situations, those guys ran a lot of plays in a row, and each of those guys, particularly Randall, came up big at different times. So we had a great matchup outside. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cash in on it. Yeah, and sometimes in those 2-minute situations, they'd run a lot of plays in a row, and, so the other guys were out there.
Now, if the Cowboys don't win against the Redskins, the Eagles don't lose to the Giants, and Jason Garrett will be fired 1 week from today. Unlike the Dallas Cowboys, Houston, Texas did clinch their division with a win over Tampa Bay on Saturday, and like the Cowboys, their final regular season game against Tennessee has been moved at 3:25 p.m. Despite locking up the AFC South, head coach Bill O'Brien has no plans to rest anybody against the Titans.
I think that anytime we take the field, based on what we're all about, our program and what we're trying to do here and what we've tried to build here for 6 years is we're about trying to win. It's all about the game, trying to win games. We realize all those things that you just said are very important factors to take into relative to where we're at, but we need to play to win the game.
Marshawn Lynch could be back with the Seattle Seahawks as early as tomorrow after flying to Seattle to meet with head coach Pete Carroll. He spent the better part of the 2010-2015 seasons with the Seahawks before playing 2 seasons in Oakland before his so-called retirement, but he never filed the retirement papers and can return to play just in time for the Seahawks game against the San Francisco 49ers to decide the AFC West. The Aggies in Houston are ready to go bowling, but missing at least one player. Next. The Fighting Texas Aggies have arrived in Houston for their Texas Bowl game against Oklahoma State this Friday at NRG Stadium. Everyone except sophomore running back Cordarian Richardson. Head coach Jimbo Fisher says he's not with the team as they held their first workouts in Houston and would not give us a reason why. At least freshman Isaiah Spiller has a lone scholarship running back for A&M at the Texas Bowl in just 4 more days. The Aggies borrowing the Texans training facility to get ready for the game. They'll be held just an hour away from College Station. Head coach Jimbo Fisher believes this is a huge advantage in more ways than one.
I think it's great. I mean, the kids are excited to get to play in front of family and friends and the other people in the state. It's not as far for their parents to be able to travel. You got an unbelievable venue to play in. Oh, excuse me. And we're recruiting this city like crazy, so it makes a big difference.
Kickoff between Texas A&M and Oklahoma State on Friday, and Houston is set for 5:45. Utah arrives for the Valero Alamo Bowl on Christmas Day evening. Texas arrives on Friday to get the festivities in full swing.
Fun-filled holiday. Thanks a lot, Greg.
We'll be right back.
Never miss a story. Watch live or when you want. San Antonio's latest news and weather. Streaming free on KSAT TV.
All right, take a look at this. Astronauts on the International Space Station are taking the time to celebrate the holidays. They all floated in to share their celebration with stockings and Santa hats. And the crew also revealed their Christmas dinner, which included bagged smoked salmon, fruitcake, and harvest hash, which I have absolutely no idea what that is. And they also took sips of their hot apple cider and hot cocoa.
I think of Who hash when you say harvest hash, like from the Grinch.
Oh, okay.
Who hash. I don't know what harvest hash is either.
First, I thought this was like a Where's Waldo thing for coming in on the space station. Where's the dog?
Won't find them, though.
Yep. All right, so tomorrow, Christmas Eve. A lot of sunshine, chilly in the morning at 38, but sunny 72. So another beautiful day. Christmas Day looking very similar. And some rain chances by the end of the week and into the weekend.
All right, thanks, Adam.
Well, that does it for tonight. Don't forget, Good Morning San Antonio starts at 4:30.
Have a great weekend.